think it might be the first time at 8 o'clock you were actually ready. This is exciting. I'm proud of you. This is a big deal. How is everybody doing tonight? Very excited to be here tonight. We got plenty of things to talk about. Hopefully the audio and video is good and we don't have any problems. If you could perhaps give a microphone check to say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I will wait and stop panicking once I get the confirmation from the almighty Candy, which she's usually the first one to jump in there and do that. And it hasn't happened yet. So I there we go. Thank you, Candy. Whew, I was getting nervous there. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. There's some things in the background behind Lisa Marie that you see. We're not going to talk about those yet, though, because...
Oh, the beta plushie's still up.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not what I was going to talk about. But I had an amazing day today, and I just have to talk about that because I got to express to all of you watching tonight just how lucky I am. I'm going to get a little mushy here, so be ready. I have not practiced this, so I don't know how it's going to come out. But last week, you and I had a conversation about me being a little bit overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
Lots going on. And I've kind of felt like I've been perhaps neglecting the YouTube channel. And I mean, it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with subscribers or views or anything like that. I haven't felt the best about the videos that we've been doing until last Sunday, but we'll talk about that in a second. You and I don't know what we were doing when we had this talk, but we were having this talk as business partners, and you said to me something that I did not ask for, but it was a beautiful thing. You said, you know what, here's what we'll do. On Thursdays, I, meaning you, will handle all of the packing of the orders, which we don't typically ship fish on Thursdays, so it's basically just the dry goods orders, so that it'll give you the day to do what you need to do. As if you don't do enough for our business anyway, you still chose to take that on. And today was the first day. And last night, I didn't even realize that was going to be happening today. I mean, you were like, well, how many orders do I have to pack tomorrow? And I was like, oh, wow. So today gave me the chance, and it happened to be the most beautiful day of the year so far, to really get a lot of stuff done that I otherwise would not have been able to do, including fighting off a sneeze right now, which is always what happens 3 minutes into the live stream, including bringing the goldfish tank up, which I suppose I can try to turn your camera a little bit, and yay, there it is right there. Very, very excited about that. That's been something that, moving a 75-gallon tank is not the most difficult thing in the world to do, but it's not something you can do by yourself. Most people can't anyway. So it is something you need help with. I don't have a problem getting help with something like that. I didn't have a problem getting help with it today. It's just one of those things that just kind of kept getting put off and put off and put off until today. And I got water changes done in both of these tanks that you're seeing in the stream here today. I was so productive today, and it was amazing.
Oh my gosh, you did a lot today.
I got 2 videos done. I got amazing. What a day. Thank you for that. Hopefully that wasn't just a 1-week deal. Hopefully that's...
No, depends on how you behave.
We'll have to see. I'll be a good boy, I promise. But amazing day. I felt like I was able to get those things done that I've been putting off for so long. And so thank you for that.
I do have a request. Can you turn the TV off?
Why?
Because I can't concentrate. Every time I look at you, I see the commercials.
Oh, I wonder if I put it... I mean, I got to be able to keep track of the Caps game. If I put it over on this screen, is it going to be okay?
Yeah.
There we go.
Because your head's blocking it.
Good. Okay. So, yeah, very excited about that. But the big thing to talk about here today is the fact that we did get those yellow labs last week, and look at them in all of their glory. They're swimming around all over the place.
They're so cute.
I've been having so much fun just sitting here watching those fish. They have, for a couple of days, they were a little skittish, and they're still skittish. If I walk up to the tank, they will all disappear. They'll just disappear. They're gone. It's like, do you even have any fish in this tank? They all go and hide in the rocks except for one, and it's Dude.
Yeah, Dude.
If
He's
you-
not scared of anything.
He's not, and it's so funny. We say he. I don't know. We don't know if he's a he or a she. If you didn't catch the vlog on Tuesday, Lisa named the teeny tiny baby that's in there. She named him Dude, and I don't know if you can see. Oh, he's in there, but you probably can't see him. He's right next to
trying
Lisa
to look.
Marie's right eye. But anyway, all of the fish that are in that tank are about 2.5 inches or so. And Dude is maybe only a couple of month old baby in there. Not Fry anymore. I mean, he's up, swimming around, eating on his own, mingling with everybody else. But when all of the other fish scurry away and disappear, he stays out, and he's like, hi, is it time to eat? He's so excited. So it's really, really funny. Dude is kind of catching on. There's been a lot of comments of people saying, talking about Dude. So I don't know. Could you please try to explain where that name came from?
He's just this cute little dude. I mean, I think the first words that came to mind was random dude. And I was like, I could call him random or Dude. And I was like, he's just Dude.
I think you did mention the word random, and I was like, huh? For a fish? What? But then
Yeah.
you said Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
And he is right there. Well, he was. I don't know where he is now, but he's so funny. I mean, he just scurries along with all of the other fish. He's my favorite one in there for sure. But
For the next few months until he's the same size as the others
know.
and looks exactly the same.
yep, it'll be impossible. I wish we could put like a little tattoo or something like that on him so that we know. Just not. I don't want to hurt him, but just so that we could know that's Dude. We're good with Dude, but
There's
yeah.
no way to do anything like that.
No, and if there was, I wouldn't do it. But it's still, it'll be sad when we can no longer tell which one is Dude anymore, because he is a special little guy. But probably by that time, there will be more dudes in there. So,
Right.
I talked about in that vlog that you and I talked about putting another aquarium over here,
Right.
perhaps a 55, maybe a 29 or something like that. That we would use for the yellow lab fry that will inevitably pop up in that tank. But the more I thought of it, the more it really doesn't make sense to do that, because ain't nobody going to be catching any fry in that tank, and nobody's going to catch a holding female
I will.
in that tank.
I will.
You're going to take all of those rocks down, take them
No,
out.
I'll be smart and take a net, probably 2, and catch it. We used to catch fish all the time at the fish store.
With no decor in the tanks, and they were not 30-inch deep tanks. They were 12-inch deep
I'll
tanks.
get in there and swim with them.
Hey, if you can, that's fine. But you know what I thought of for now, because I'm convinced until you prove me wrong. There's Dude. I see him. You can't see him on camera, but I'm convinced we're not going to be able to catch any fry in there, and they'll just hide in the rocks.
Definitely not the fry.
They'll hide in the rocks, and they'll get by just like Dude did, and then we'll just have new dudes pop up every once in a while, and that's completely fine. But to get this new tank going, I mean, it's my desk. It's going to be sitting right there. It's going to serve as a beautiful backdrop for the new style of videos that we're doing, which we will talk about in a minute. I thought maybe I could finally get that Congo Tetra tank.
What happened to the fry tank?
Well, I'm saying, if I'm right and we never end up catching any fry in that tank,
I can't let you be right, so I'll catch it.
she'll be out here 2 o'clock in the morning, taking all the substrate will be out, all of the rocks will be out. No, I mean, or we could use the Congos to get the tank, bring the tank to life, and then if we have to move them into the community tank downstairs because we have a bunch of fry, then we can do that. But anyway, that would be fun. I don't want to sit there with an empty tank forever. So it's going to be
Stick a
some
beta
time.
in it. I know where you
Shocker.
could get one.
Shocker. Or a sorority. We could put a little. But anyway, we don't need to talk about that tank. If we do put a tank there, we're going to need something to put in it because we ain't going to be catching any fry out of there. But huge thank you to Florida Exotic Fish Sales for sending those fish. We didn't ask them to do that. We have worked with them in the past. We work with them right now with Extreme. If you're not familiar, we did include the little bit of footage that they sent us catching the fish. I think that footage was filmed on like a 1992 Nokia phone or something because it was pretty gnarly, but it's still, it
was still very nice of them to send it.
It absolutely was. And a couple of people, I do want to say this, a couple of people commented, he's netting those fish and he's throwing them. Like, wow, he's really throwing these fish. He's not, folks. There is a bucket right next to him that you can't see that's off camera.
Right.
And what he's doing is he's taking it and he's taking the fish from the net with his hand. He inspects it to make sure that's a good one to send, and he drops it in the bucket. It does look like he's kind of chucking them over there. He's not. He's placing them in a bucket. Look at them. They're all in perfect condition. It's not like he hurt the fish.
I wonder if he did that with Dude, if he was like, oh, perfect.
I don't know. And I emailed Rick and I said, I don't know if you know it, but there's a little teeny guy in there, a little Rob 93 in there. But he didn't respond. But so anyway, lots of fun. Thank you so much to them for sending those. Like I say again, this is a company we've worked with for a long time. We used to buy almost all of our Africans from them when we sold Africans in our shop. And the relationship has never really ended. I mean, they came on when we shut the shop down. They came on as a sponsor for the channel. And then when we started the website back up again, he was like, well, it kind of doesn't make sense because you're kind of sponsoring yourself. And I was like, don't worry about it. That's fine. It doesn't do anything to relationship between us. Still very close with them, still huge supporters of them, and still want to go down there and tour that facility one of these days.
So much fun.
We're supposed to be in Florida in June. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I have this random hair, and it's really getting on my nerves.
But anyway, big thank you.
I just went and pulled it out.
That's good. Big thank you to them for that. The fish are absolutely amazing, as I knew they would be, because they do things right down there. They are the cream of the crop. I'm not saying that because they sent me fish. I'm saying that because, well, it's just true. So big thank you to them. And thank you to Andy Biro from Extreme Fish Foods. He's the one that kind of set it all up. Thank you, Biro Brothers. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
I could not be happier. It's funny. I don't know why I was doing this. No, I do know why. I was looking for one clip from an old live stream. And so I started watching some old live streams of mine back before you were doing them with me. And there was a live stream from May of 2019. Okay. This is when we were just starting to set up things out here. And I said in that live stream, I said, I want to take one of those 125s, because I said one of them's already for Lisa for discus. We know that. Yeah. I want to take one of those other 125s and I want to black it out completely and fill it full of yellow labs. May of 2019.
That. Yeah.
So this is something I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. And look at it. It's there. It's finally there. It sucks that these webcams are terrible and don't really show them all that well. I can assure you in the videos on Sundays with the better cameras and with the better lighting and everything else, they are going to pop. So they're gonna show a whole lot better. And that's kind of a perfect segue into talking about these videos. We couldn't really talk about them in the live streams because we wanted to kind of keep it hush hush until we actually did it. I don't know why we did that, but that's what we did. But we released the first video on Sunday of the new style that we're trying out. I had so much fun with it. You had fun with it. I can speak for you because I know you did. It was a great time. And it did. I got a message from a YouTuber the next day that said, finally fulfilling that Joe Rogan dream or something like this, something along those lines. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that kind of is what it is. You came up with the idea of doing kind of like an interview type conversation. And then I took it from there and turned it into the kind of podcast style type of videos.
No, you can admit it was all my idea.
I mean, if you want me to say that, that's fine. That's not the truth. But the truth is you came up with the idea for the concept. Truth. I modified it slightly. The concept is still there, but how we shoot it, how we film it, that's on me. It's a great collaboration. That's a beautiful thing. Lots of fun. And that's, you can expect quite a few of those. People have already said, are you going to be doing a podcast? And when you look at those videos, I would totally understand why people would ask that, because I mean, that is a pretty common strategy with those kind of videos. There's usually a podcast attached to it. We do not have plans to do a podcast. I sure would love to do one though. But we don't have any immediate plans to do that. If we could get a better format for this live stream, I would consider uploading this live stream in podcast form. But if you think about it, most people are listening to podcasts on their phone. You can just play the YouTube video on your phone the same way you would a podcast. So you're not missing out if we don't upload it in podcast form. But I would like to do like a full-scale, long-form podcast. The only thing I struggle with there is you run out of ideas real quick. And there's not enough people that care about us. And I don't mean to sound weird when I say that, but there's not enough people that want to hear our personal stuff to talk about anything other than fish.
Right.
You know, so if we did a podcast and then we talked for 10 minutes about fish and then 50 minutes about us, I don't know that anybody would be interested in that.
Because we're pretty boring people.
Our lives are not interesting enough to do that. But so anyway.
We change a lot of fish tank water around here.
Yeah. I think I did about probably, I don't know, a lot of gallons worth today. About 50% in there, about 30% in there. Do the math. It's a lot of gallons. And then drained to 75 and moved that back up. So yeah, a lot of water going through hoses with me today. So anyway, that kind of gets us up to speed as far as, you know, any kind of updates for us goes. We're leaving town tomorrow, not going on another vacation, but I'm going to get to go to see my first college field hockey game in person. I've watched every game streaming, but I haven't been able to be there in person. So excited to be able to go and do that tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. Other than that, business as usual for us. Had a couple of emails today, as a matter of fact, people asking when we're going to have the tidal filters back in stock. We're literally sold out of every single size, every single one that we have in inventory right now. They are in a truck on their way to us right now. They'll be here tomorrow. So there's that. Enough business talk, enough updates. You got to talk about something here for a minute. I don't know. Figure out something. What are you going to talk about? I've been talking.
I have a letter.
18 minutes. There you go.
I have a letter that I want to read.
There you go.
Like literally was trying to think of something and my eyes went right on that letter. So I haven't checked the mail at the post office in a couple weeks.
Even though we go there every day.
I know. It's shameful. But John and I received a letter from a really sweet person, and I'm just going to read it because I love reading mail from kids when they send it to us. It's so awesome. Or anybody. I really enjoy it. Dear John and Lisa, hi, my name is Emma. I am 10 years old and I have 2 wonderful beta fish. One is a female half-moon beta and the other is a male twin-tail half-moon beta. You both have helped me so much with keeping them both happy and healthy. Lisa, I also find the females to be my favorite, but I love my male fish. I mean, I don't see why not. He's so handsome. John, your top 10 videos are so entertaining and very helpful. Thank you both so much for helping me, Midnight, and Triton stay happy and healthy. Love, Emma, KG Tropicals fan. She's so sweet.
I love it.
And
Are you going to show the fish?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't have any like addresses or nothing. She drew all the little fish and she colored them all, and it's just so sweet.
A lot of time put into that.
And you know, anytime someone sends us a letter or a postcard, I save them, every single one of them. I have all of them. I never get rid of them because they're special. They mean a lot.
They absolutely do. They're in a special place. They're going to pile up. We don't read every single one that we get on live streams, although we should, but it doesn't always work out that way. But that is very sweet. Thank you, Emma, for that. That's very cute.
She's so sweet.
And thank you.
And she's not too far away from us. Like, she's probably about 2 or 3 hours.
Oh,
yeah.
Not bad. I tell you what, why don't you start looking for a question? I'm going to burn through these real quick because what we have today is a lot of people that are sending in money for some reason and nothing attached to it. So it's going to be a real quick thing of reading names while you find a question for us. We'll get right into the Q&A, which is the fun part. Sick Lid with the $1.99. Wait for it, which was a few minutes before the live stream started. Thank you so much for that. Bradley Gann, Justin Richardson, BB Bree, or BB Bry, I think it's BB Bry, Kira P, all became members tonight or re-upped their membership. Welcome to the team. Very excited to have you. Howells TCG with the $1, nothing attached to it. Dolbeck Aqua Designs with the Canadian $2 and a winky emoji attached to it. And Howells TCG again came through with just here's money. That's all it was. Furloughs Aquatics, y'all are the best. I get overwhelmed very easily, and you too, and your encouragement to start creating content on YouTube has been a big help. I met some really awesome people, including y'all. Well, I'm surprised you're not cursing me for that, Eric, because you're like, I was already overwhelmed, and now I've got this. Thanks, John.
He's so awesome.
YouTube, when you get involved in the YouTube world, from a content creator standpoint, it can get pretty overwhelming pretty fast. So, sorry, Eric. It's a beautiful thing. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but it can definitely get overwhelming very fast. And good grief, Savage Sharpshooter 93, $50. Isn't that a beautiful red oval, pink oval up there? Thank you for that. Unbelievable.
Really sweet. Thank you.
Fish Money, because I so rarely get the chance to catch y'all live, and you were instrumental in my efforts to continually educate myself on fish keeping.
That's awesome.
Don't currently have a tank, will be, but have fish at my job to keep me sharp on my skills. Nice. So yeah, wow. Thank you for that. I mean, that's,
Thank you.
That's just crazy. Thank you so much for that. What an amazing thing. Are you ready?
So sweet. Yes. Okay, so I have a question from Kathy Kruger. Can 6 electric yellow, 6 ACI, and 6 Socolify or rusty cichlids go together in a 75 gallon? So basically 18 imbunas in a 75 gallon. And I would say,
For a while.
yeah, I would say the best thing to do is cut the number back to 5. 5, 5, and 5. That's 15.
The only ones that I would have any concern with at all are the ACI, because they are, I don't know this as fact, but I believe they are the largest of the imbunas. They really should be haps as far as I'm concerned, but they get really, really big. Not as big as like Venustus and stuff like that, but they can get 7 inches. And that's pretty big for 6 of them in a 75. When you think about the fish at the size mine are right now, if you put 18 of them in a 75, it would be perfectly fine. Yellow labs are not monstrously fast growers. Neither are our ACI or Rusties. They grow fast, but they don't grow like Oscars do. Like they explode.
Right.
So there's going to be a day where that 75 is going to be tight. 18 in a 125, I'd say, yeah. I mean, 50 in a 240. How am I going to say no to that? But I'd have to do the math. That means 25 in a 125. Yeah, don't do math on a live stream. But yeah.
You're not good at math.
I'm good at math when I'm not on a camera, because then
I can recall a video.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Your math was not very
And
good.
I talked about it with authority, too. I was
Yeah.
like, "Ugh, this is the
like
number."
I did with dynamite.
Dynamite?
Napoleon?
Oh, did we tell that story? Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to tell the Napoleon Dynamite story in Gettysburg. Anyway.
That was so funny.
That was funny, and I really would like to talk about it, but I pick on you too much. People yell at me for it, so I can't.
It was funny. I
do that.
even laughed when I realized what I said. I was like, oops.
It's one of those things you just immediately wish you could take back. I'm just going to tell it because
Okay.
we just have to. I don't even remember why it came up. Like, how did it come up?
The name Napoleon was on one of the statues. And I was like, I remember saying, oh, at first I was thinking they meant Napoleon Bonaparte, but duh, that's not even the right country or war.
No, wait, no, that is not how it went. I remember now. You read that name, and I made the joke. I said, "Oh, is it Dynamite or Bonaparte?" And you said, "Dynamite," and I was like, not only are we not talking about Napoleon Dynamite, but Napoleon didn't fight in the Civil War in the United States. Napoleon Bonaparte. So we had a good laugh, and we were standing in front of what we were surprised to see there was a statue of Robert E. Lee. We're from the South, technically. We're on the north edge of the South, but we're not.
And his home is like 20 minutes
Yeah.
from here.
But it's not like we are like, Robert E. Lee, we got to go see his statue. We were driving
Right.
through the whole thing, and there's hundreds of statues.
Right.
And we just happened to be right there. And I was surprised. I'm like, we're in the north now.
Yeah, like,
And there's
what's he doing here?
Yeah, and there's a statue of Robert E. Lee. I was surprised by that. I think it's actually quite respectful to do that. I think that's cool. And that's when the whole Napoleon Bonaparte being in the Civil War in Pennsylvania
But I
came
thought,
up.
the thing is, I was thinking dynamite because they use stuff like that in the war. So it wasn't, I wasn't even thinking about Napoleon Dynamite. It just came
Anyway.
out that way, and it was funny. It was so funny.
I've picked on you so much this week because of the pizza thing, and people are, you've not been happy with me about that.
Yeah, I can't believe you did that, putting me in there eating pizza like that.
We're talking about the vlog here, folks. We put it up on Tuesday. She eats pizza backwards, and that's just the way it is. And I decided to film her doing that and make fun of her for it because I've always made fun of her for it. For 12 years, I've
true.
made fun of you for it. And a lot of people had a lot of things to say in the comments about the way you eat your pizza, including a few people say, I eat it the same way.
And I was so happy to hear that.
It's not, when I say backwards, it's not turning the crust around and eating it that way backwards. It's eating the toppings off with a fork. And then you take Parmesan cheese and put it on the crust and then eat the crust. It's so weird.
I've done it ever since I was a kid.
You weren't raised right. I mean, that's just wrong.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, Delana Silva came in again with the #1 fan pair. Thank you so much, Delana. That's happening every week. I don't know what we've done to deserve that. Melissa Jeswald, 5-gallon, 100% recovered. There are even 7 fry and a million red cherry shrimp that
That's
cleaned
awesome.
everything. Perfect. Is that the one with the micron? Is that the same tank? I hope so, because we didn't get those back. I don't know what's happening there. I hope that's the right one. But either way, very cool. Bobby Lutz became a new member. Welcome to the team. Fish Tank Barn with the tip jar contribution. Mike, have you made any kind of announcement of whether or not you will be in Florida? I know that's probably a stupid question. I know you're probably going to get in that dad van and drive down there, 27 hours from Michigan, but hope to see you there, and you can by all means buy us ice cream.
Oh, it'll be good to see him.
We will buy him ice cream with all the money that he has.
And I think I'm
us.
pretty sure I was in the stream for a little while last night in primetime stream, and it sounds like they're going to Florida too. So that'll be exciting.
Good. Yeah, that'll be perfect. I mean, I think everybody's going to be there because it's like, we haven't had one of these in so long. We have to do it. Monday O'Reilly just gave my 55-gallon its first water change. Those buckets are heavy, especially when you're used to changing water in 5-gallon tanks. Yeah, they definitely are. And this is where a python will become your absolute best friend. I promise you that. You got one?
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh. Okay,
It's
Thomas
moving so
Silva,
quick.
love your videos. Where's the best place to put your heaters in a tank? I have a 125-gallon with 2 heaters in it. You know, the rule is in the water. Generally, I like to keep mine near the heater. I like to keep the heaters near the heater. I like to keep it near the filter intake because that's always pulling water, which means it's always pulling water across that heater. So I like to have it in a high flow area. But I don't think there's any rule. It just needs to be fully submerged because, you know, a heater out of water is not going to do any good and it's not going to last very long. So that's always been my practice. If you have a canister filter or a hang on the back filter, something with that long intake tube, I just put the heater right next to it. There's no rule that you have to do that. But I would just make sure that it's not in a dead zone. If you're going to try to hide it somewhere or whatever, make sure it's not in an area where the water's not moving around. You want that heated water to circulate. You don't want like a hot pocket, although they are delicious. You don't want one of those hot pockets of water. You know, you want it to circulate around. So.
And the way you eat a Hot Pocket is you cut it open and you scoop everything out of the inside of it and eat it, and then you eat
what
the
a
crust.
weird person you are.
Okay.
No, the way you eat a Hot Pocket is you cook it and then you let it sit for about 45 minutes so that it doesn't burn your mouth when you eat it. That's how you eat a Hot Pocket.
David Glass asks, KD Tropicals, will you put more yellow labs in your tank?
No. No. There's 50 of them in there. And there might be 51 because dude might have been a throw-in.
Maybe.
I don't think he was not in a fish's mouth. He's a couple of months old. So he might have been just an extra, or maybe he is one of the 50. I don't know. Go ahead and try to count all of those fish.
So we should have named him Rob 51.
Yeah, that's good. I wonder if Rob's mad at me. I haven't seen him in here tonight because I said his name in the vlog. I said, it looks like Rob 93. Was he a little fella?
He really is a sweet guy.
Oh, he is. Absolutely. It's not every day a man calls another man sweet. But anyway.
No, I like him a lot. He's funny. I'll lurk on the stream sometimes. He cracks me up.
He is funny. And he is indeed a little fella. But there's 50 fish in there right now. And they're small. You know, they're 2.5 inches or so. Yellow labs do not get monstrously big. These are probably going to double in size from where they are now. Not all of them, because yellow labs, you know, when you look at that tank a year from now, there's going to be fish of every single size because just like people, some grow big, some stay really small, Rob. But
it's not funny anymore.
He hates me. He must hate me. But no, I mean, that's a perfect example. Look at me. I'm 220 pounds. Rob is a little guy, you know, he's half my age too, but some people are bigger than others. Fish are the same way. So there's going to be all different sizes in there, but you know, you give it 6-7 months, that tank is going to look really full. It might look really small in there right now. Like we could fit a whole bunch more in there, but I think it'd be crazy to put even more of them in there. We need to let everything calm down and let them figure stuff out. And we may get some fish for free. And I don't mean people sending us fish. I mean, they're going to reproduce in there. There's nothing we can do to stop them.
And I'll get them when they're holding and stick them in that tank.
I would have actually been mad if Rick, when he was picking those out, if he would have been like, okay, female, and just only gave us females. Female yellow labs are beautiful, but I want them to breed in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have been mad, like, man, come on, you shorted me. I want them to be breeding in there. So we might have 175 fish in there next month.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
But this is where the second tank would come in. But yeah, anyway.
We could use the discus tank as a grow out tank when I get my bigger tank.
Here we go. Yeah. We need to move into a bigger facility to add another big tank like that. I'd be happy to do it.
It could just be bigger height-wise. It doesn't have to be wider.
I don't like the idea of odd numbers, though. If we get another tank like that, which I would be absolutely 100% in support of doing, I think we'd have to get 2 more. And we ain't got that kind of money. But that way there could be 4. I don't know. Anyway,
so Science Gal Aquatics says she's planning on going to Florida too, and she's excited.
Nice.
That'll be cool. Can't wait to see her.
Yeah, that's I like I said, I think everybody's going to go down there. I know there's a couple of people that I have talked to that, as far as I know, they are not going to be there. But I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to announce for anybody. But I think the overwhelming majority of YouTube is going to be there, and it's going to be a blast. I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, every day on the news now, you're hearing new things about different places opening up. Texas is opening up and all of this. And one of the baseball stadiums, I don't recall which one it is, because like every couple of days, the MLB has been doing announcements of what the stadiums are going to allow. They haven't made the announcement for National Stadium yet, but Nats Park. One of them is allowing full capacity, 100%,
Whoa.
and it's like 35,000. You have to be masked up, which I mean you would expect that, but that shocked
Good luck
me.
keeping up with all those people and
Yeah.
keeping their masks on.
That's going to be a fiasco. I think it's a huge mistake, but that's my only thing. Like if you're only allowed at Aquashella to have a certain amount of people in there, if we're there the entire weekend, we would be taking those spaces from people that want to come in, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would almost be better just let us go in there, do our rounds, get our video footage, and then just stay out in the parking lot or something. I know it's going to be hot. It's going to be June in Florida, but I feel like that's probably a better way to handle it. I mean, outdoors you still would need to probably mask up, but
Yeah.
probably be better than anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, look forward to seeing Science Gal and hopefully Fish Tank Barn. Did he say anything about it? Oh, he says on the fence. Okay, we'll see.
Okay. Kale Galloway says, hey, this is Kale from last week talking about my blind fish. Thank you so much for reading my comment without super chat. I just wanted to let you know he didn't make it. Thank you for helping me. I'm sorry, Kale. That's sad. You tried. You did try. You asked for information. You asked what to do, and I feel like you did the best thing you could have done. So
You know what? In this hobby, you can do everything right, and things still
well,
happen.
it was a blind fish, and that's tough to begin with.
Yep.
So
There was a lot of cards stacked against that fish, unfortunately. Sorry to hear that it didn't make it. That's something that we deal with in this hobby, and it sucks. Mattman B says, take my money and buy some ice cream for Fish Tank Barn, except I added the Fish Tank Barn part. Yeah, if Mike makes it down there, we will definitely treat him to as much ice cream as he wants. Mike has been very good to us, and so we would definitely do that. And he would need some energy because I don't know if Mike has a thing with flying or what, but he drives everywhere. And Florida's a long way from Michigan. So he would be in need of some ice cold refreshment when he gets down there. So Stephen P 2003, hi, I'm pretty sure that's what that says. Hello back to you, or hi back to you. Cole Anschutz, I'm probably saying that wrong, but inconceivable that I would be able to say that right. And anybody who's seen that movie knows exactly why I said that. I love mustard gas betas, he says. I do too.
I love mustard gas betas, and I got a bunch of them.
We showed them in the little teeny bags. And, I was on the fence when I uploaded that vlog because I sounded really mean in the vlog when I was talking about, hey, people want to criticize for bettas in the small tanks. Every single time we show our bettas, I'm trying to say bettas, there are those people that are angry that we have these bettas in these tanks. And that's what I was trying to show was like, look, we're doing as good as we can. It's certainly not perfect. No fish in fish stores are in perfect situations. Mm-hmm. They're all in temporary housing. We do as good as we can. And I tried to show that. It was 11 o'clock at night. I still had to get these fish in the tank. I was a little on edge, and had just gone through a traumatic experience with almost running out of gas.
Right.
Listen, folks, I'm going to tell a story.
I could not believe you did that.
I'm going to tell a story of how bad of a human being I am. And it involves fish because we had fish in the car, in the truck. So we're on our way home from picking up the bettas and the yellow labs Friday night. Was it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night.
Last Friday.
And we showed it in the vlog, and that was real. Like, Lisa showed the low fuel warning on the car, which usually means you have below 30 miles, and we had gone about 29 miles.
Yeah.
We were cutting it close. And I have my reasons for it. I just don't remember what they are. But I pulled through the parking lot at a gas station. But then I just said, no, I'm going to go to the other one. I don't even remember why that is.
I don't remember.
And it was a long way to get to the other ones. And so there is a store in King George County. No, it's in Port Royal, Virginia, called Horns. It's a little country store that has a gas station. This really happened. We make it to this store to get gas, and we're okay. Fish are in the back. It is still cold. It was 77 degrees today, but it was really cold that night. And we're a little nervous. It's late. We got to get these fish in. Nervous if we run out of gas, we're not going to be, these fish are going to freeze. Anyway, pull into this gas station. Whew, no problem. I get out, and another gentleman had also gotten out of his car at the exact same time. He starts walking into the store, and I put my card in and do the whole thing with the gas pump, and it says, select grade and begin fueling. So I pick up the thing, and as soon as I push the button for my 87 octane, the lady shut the daggone gas pumps off. It was closing time. What was it? Was it probably 10 o'clock then?
It was 10 o'clock.
So I guess they close at 10. And while I'm putting the nozzle into my gas, they cut it off. And the guy was getting ready to walk into the store. I don't know what he was going to, who cares what he was going to buy? I don't know him. And he's like, oh man, the lady's staring right at me and she just locked the door. So he goes back to his car, and I'm sitting there trying to get the gas pump to work.
Yeah, you were out there for 10 minutes. You thought it was going to turn right back on for you.
It was saying, select your grade. And I'm like, well, this is what it does. It's ready to go. And so I look over to the guy, and the guy's like this, something's really bothering him. And I'm like,
guy.
You all right, man? And he says, I locked my keys in the car. And I'm like, oh, God. I used to carry a Slim Jim long time ago. Not to do anything weird about it, but just because lock your keys, I met you because you locked your keys in the car.
I didn't. David did.
Anyway, that's a whole other story. I know we've talked about how we met in the driveway, but we actually met 2 times before that, but it was very brief, and we didn't really talk to each other. The first time we talked to each other was February 28th, 2009. But yeah. But anyway.
That's the day I gave you a time of day.
Right, exactly. So I said to this guy, I'm like, well, dude, do you want to use my phone? Or I said to him, do you have your phone? And he's like, it's in the car. And it's a nice Mercedes. He's a nice guy. And I'm like, well, you want to use my phone? You can call somebody. And the weirdest thing happened. I'm standing outside of my truck. He's still standing there like this. You were watching him. He's standing there looking at his car. And I said to him, "You want to use my phone?" And he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm just trying to process this." And then he put his hand back on his head, and I'm standing there like, I'm looking at you, I'm looking at him. Stand there, I don't know how long it was. It was a little bit. Standing there waiting, I'm like,
we got fish in the car.
have a nice night. And I got in the truck and drove off. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to stand there and wait for this guy to figure out if he wants to use my phone. But I felt so bad. But at the same time, I'm
And
like,
at the same time, we're running out of gas waiting.
I can't get this guy to snap out of his fugue state that he's in. I don't know what his problem is. You want to use my phone? It's right here. But he couldn't figure it out. So I don't know if he was on something or what. I don't want to accuse anybody of that. But listen, if you are the gentleman that was out there that night, I am sorry. But you could have used my phone. I mean, I was handing it to you.
You felt so bad too leaving. You were like, man, I feel bad leaving him there like that. But he wasn't.
But I got to get gas myself. And the thing, I was really freaking out at this point because we're another like 4 miles. And I'm like, we're already cutting it close. And now I got to start the truck up again, which takes up more gas. And I got to drive out there. I don't have time to mess with this guy. I got to, you want to use my phone or not? I got to get out of here. So yeah, I feel bad. I'm glad I didn't see in the news the next day, like, man, tragically shot at the gas pump or something. I'd have felt
that's so
horrible.
sad.
But anyway, are we ready to move on now?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and Hudson, one of my placat betas has started getting ragged fins the last week. I haven't added any new fish or decor in a while. Any thoughts on the cause?
No. It's so hard to diagnose through text. So basically, what I would tell you, if you emailed me that, I would say, of course, do a water change, add salt, aquarium salt, maybe slightly increase the temperature a degree or two, and just keep up with the water changes so an infection doesn't set in. So, and they should heal. Fins heal quick. So you should be fine.
And you said, Owen, that you haven't added any new fish or decor, but are there fish in there with this beta?
Or already other
Yeah, I mean, were they
decor.
already with him?
Yeah.
Just because you haven't put any new ones in, could the old ones be getting a little rowdy?
And even if it's not, even if there isn't any other fish in there, he could have just rubbed up on something. Let me tell you a story. I have those little coconut huts. Those little coconut huts that are like, this big, and they have that itty bitty teeny hole like this big on top. And, the opening where, a fish can go in. Well, I have like 2 or 3 of them in my beta sorority. And one day I went in there and a beta had wiggled up in there and was stuck. And I was like, crap, I never thought about that. I better fix that problem. So every time I get coconut huts now, and she did survive, she's fine. But I stuff like little like moss down in there. I fill that hole up so a fish can't go through, because I had to stick her in quarantine for a while. And
That was Gatto, wasn't it? Wasn't it Gatto?
It wasn't Gatto. It was another one though. But yeah, I had to, fix her up, make sure she didn't get an infection. But you never know. Sometimes you can have things in there that'll damage your fish, and you just don't think about it.
He did say there are tank mates in there with them. There are fish that are nocturnal fighters. There are fish that will pick on your beta when you're not looking. There are all different kinds of things like that.
I've seen betas nip at their own fins.
A placat, though? Because
Not a
I immediately
placat.
thought about that too, but
Yeah,
then
not a
he said
placat.
it's a placat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be a very flexible placat
Yeah.
if he did that. So,
Yeah, not a placat.
KC cichlids. Well, there's a new one that's people are going to confuse. If people call you Kevin Green, don't get upset, because KG, KC, and KG Trop. Anyway, thank you for joining the team. I think KG cichlids is also a member of our team. So welcome to the team.
Oh, cool.
Gurvinder Parmer. I'm probably saying that wrong. Great channel, and I absolutely love the yellow lab tank. Me too. I love it. And I'm going to tell you something. I've considered I've not moving tanks around. Don't panic, because I know I do that way too much. You can't really see it. Although if you look directly behind Lisa Marie's head, you see me waving in the screen behind her. We're sitting across from each other, and you can see right in front of her, right here, you're looking at the aquarium behind Marie. You're seeing me pointing. That is the back of my iMac. So when I sit at my desk, the iMac is completely blocking my view of that tank, and it really bothers me. So I'm thinking of shifting everything over somehow so that I can see them, because I got to lean over so that I can see them now, and it drives me crazy. But I love it too. I am probably going to be adding a little bit more rocks in there, which will just add to it. Maybe get a nice little volcano going all the way up. It'll be a lot of fun. And I usually don't like when fish hide, but with them it's just so daggone cute. And there's so many of them that it's pretty rare that they're all hiding at once. So, but yeah, I love that tank. Thank you. I could talk about that tank all day long. You ready?
Sure. Aquatic Dandaman says, it's gone. But anyways, he's frustrated about concentrating on super chats and not the stream. But I apologize. I'm trying to get to chats in the stream while John does the chats and the super
we
chats.
don't have time for all that.
But if you have a question, put it in the chat, and I promise I'll try to get to it. So,
BB Bree again, or BB Bry. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Hi guys, my family and I are in love with your channel. Quick question: my sister's aquarium has hair-like white insect worms in it. Is that anything she should be worried about? Thank you.
That sounds like how do you say detritus worms? I don't know how to pronounce it, but the worms that start with a D, detritus worms.
Or planaria.
Detritus worm, I don't know. Planaria are the little worms that have like the flat head. I find them in...
But they look so similar, though.
But there's the skinny worms that are super skinny, and those are the ones that aren't so bad, you know. Like fish a lot of times will eat those.
Right. Yeah.
But the other ones, the planariums, I am really bad with saying worms. But if it's I want to say detritus worms.
It is something like that. We're not worm experts.
Those ones, you know, I wouldn't use any kind of medication or anything. I would just constantly clean the tank more, the substrate, and get it out of there. That's
the thing. I mean, you're going to want to do some good, thorough cleaning, no matter what it is. A lot of issues, even like with algae and things like that, the things that make these worms grow are the same things that would make algae grow, which is excess light, excess food, excess waste. So doing a good cleaning in there, don't wipe out your cycle, but doing a good cleaning, cleaning off the glass, and watch.
I've had those before, and they've gone away.
Yeah.
They're not.
But they go away with maintenance and with, you know,
but
making sure you're not
common.
overfeeding and stuff like that.
It could come in like on a plant or something. Oh, thank you, Candy. Candy says that Aquatic Dandaman had asked, can we get a video of you guys going to Peru with Aquarium Co-op to catch fish? Obviously, after travel restrictions get lifted. Now, that would be you, not me, because I'm not going to Peru, because that requires a very long plane ride, but you never know. You never know what the future holds.
I would love to do it, but I would also not love to, like, I don't know. I'd have to know very, very strict details. I'm a diva when it comes to sleeping and stuff like that. I can't just go hang a hammock in the tree in the jungle and sleep. I know that's not what Corey was doing, but of course I would look into it. I mean, that'd be a lot of fun. In fact, we've talked about it before, but But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Is he planning on going back? I haven't even heard him talk about going back. I mean, nobody's really talking about going anywhere right now, so who knows?
True. Aussie Dan says, "Are you ever going to try saltwater again? I think you will have more success second time around." You have mentioned it.
Yeah, and I wasn't. It's not that I wasn't successful last time. I wasn't successful at corals. But with fish, I was great. And that's kind of the priority anyway. I could absolutely 100% no doubt see myself starting another saltwater tank. In fact, talked about making that one a saltwater tank in the very early stages of getting that tank, because if you recall back when we made the decision to buy that tank, we got it for the basement. We got it to be in the background of these live streams, basically where this tank is, but down in the basement. And one of the ideas that I had was doing saltwater, but for larger saltwater fish, not a big reef and all that. To me, the big reefs are amazing. They are so cool to look at. I admire anybody that's able to get one of those established and take care of it and do their thing and all of that. It's beautiful. I love looking at it when it belongs to somebody else. If I'm responsible for it, it would be too stressful for me. So, it's kind of like the way I used to be with cats. It was like, I love other people's cats, but I don't want to have any cats. And now we have a bunch of them. But it's the same thing for me. I love looking at those. I just don't want to have one for myself. But a fish only, a Fowler tank, a fish only with live rock, I could absolutely see doing something like that. And yes, I have talked about it. I think we're at capacity now. For
what?
For tanks.
Oh, I thought you meant cats. Phew.
We're definitely at capacity for cats too. But I feel like we're at capacity here. A year from now, who knows what's going to be happening with us? Who knows where we're going to be, what we're going to be in? Who knows? I mean, y'all know things change by the month with us. So
that's you.
In a year,
always
who knows?
You.
If we were ever to acquire a larger space to operate our studio and business, and I was going to add tanks, I would definitely consider adding a saltwater tank.
Oh.
And I would love that. And it would be fun. Because taking care of a saltwater tank is not any more difficult than taking care of one of these. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Yeah, it's a hassle because you can't just put water straight out of the tap in there unless you're just topping it off. When you're doing a water change, you can't do that. You have to use salt water to do the water change, which means you have to either mix it up yourself, which ain't hard to do, or go to the pet store. If you live near one that sells pre-made salt water, you gotta have RO water and all that kind of stuff. Preparing the water is a little bit more challenging, but it's not hard. And so, aside from the water, maintenance and keeping the tank, it's not any more difficult than freshwater tanks. That's just, all you got to do is understand salinity and how it works, and you're good to go. So there you go. Gerald Martin, I live in the Orlando area, and I'm looking forward to my first Aquashella. I bought the VIP tickets. Hope to see you. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait for it. But again, what are you saying?
Nothing. I moved on. I moved on.
Were you not? Did you have something you wanted to say about it? I'm sorry.
No, I had a comment.
Okay, go ahead. But we can't wait to see you too, Gerald.
Yeah, me too. Okay, Regina Phalanges says, I saw my mystery snail egg sacs above the waterline hatching. They looked worm-like. Weird. I have like a 1,000. Let's not exaggerate. It's more like 1,000 mystery snails now, and they're so adorable. I just like filming them and just getting the shots of them on top, the babies on top of the bigger ones, and they're like crawling around. They're so cute. Love them.
Whips World, hey John, I've been watching videos in reverse from when I started a year and a half ago or so, and I saw you had a gorgeous African cichlid that had several shades of orange. Can you tell me what that was?
Is it the OB?
I think it was the red OB that we had. That fish was a rock star.
Yeah.
He was amazing. I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about. And unfortunately, he was the only casualty that we had in the transfer from up here to down there. I had set up a 150-gallon stock tank, which we still have in the backyard. I set that up for them. They were in it overnight. It was not bad. He was fine the whole time. And then the next day, once we got the tank moved and I went to get the fish, he had passed. He was an old fish, though. I mean, I think he was 7 or 8 years old. He had been around for a long time. He was a retired breeder for Live Fish Direct. So he was an old timer when we got him. So we weren't expecting him to be around forever anyway. But yeah, real sad to see him go. I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about there, Zach Wild. He was the most gorgeous fish in the tank. There's no debate. So,
Janavi M asked, what's a quiet beta filter? I guess depends on what size tank, but I would assume a small one, like a 5 or a 10 gallon, assuming you mean that, because we're talking about a beta. So I would say a sponge filter.
Sponge filters, you may say, well, yeah, but I've had a sponge filter and those bubbles are really loud sometimes.
So you take the hose and you tie a little knot in it, not really, really tight, but just a little bit, and you stick it back into the sponge filter, that part, and you put it in there, and the bubbles are not as flowy.
Or just put an air stone down in there. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. Not every sponge filter is capable of this, but if you have the sponge filters that have the removable cap on the top, like the Aquarium Co-op ones do, you can remove that cap, put a little piece of hose in there, and put an air stone actually inside the sponge filter, and then hook it up like normal, and it'll be a sea of little bubbles, and you'll just get that little teeny tiny fuzzy poppy sound rather than the big that you get with the big bubbles. But if that doesn't work, the Micron that we sell on the website.
I kind of liked my idea.
I like your idea too, but I have a Micron. I had somebody email me today saying, I heard they're loud. Are they loud? No. Somebody might have got a loud one. I don't know, but I have one sitting right there. I'm looking at it right now as we speak, and it has never made a single sound. The only way it does make any sound is if the top of the filter is sticking up out of the top of the water. And I think that's what some people end up doing, because I don't know why, but they do. And it definitely makes noise there. The filter needs to be fully submerged in the water, and it is dead nuts quiet if you put it underneath the water. So that's a good choice too.
DWright778 said, just ordered eight OBs for my tank. Can't wait. That's
nice.
Awesome. I love OBs.
I do too. We just unfortunately had the one that you purchased me pass a couple of weeks ago. Freak thing. Don't even really know how it happened. And that was definitely unfortunate. I am without an OB Peacock right now, but I have the OB Borlei, and that dude is right. He's going to be the biggest fish in that tank soon, and he is he's amazing. Best looking fish in that tank by far.
Support your troops and athletes. I love that name because I have a Marine vet as a son.
And athletes.
And a future son going in the Navy. And I have an athlete for a daughter, so I just love that name. Support your troops and athletes. Says, hiya back, Candy, sweetie. You all have a wonderful moderator, Lisa. Keep Candy always. She is awesome. She welcomes everyone, making each person comfortable. And I can't agree more. We love Candy. She's the best. And we love all of our moderators, so not trying to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all of you guys are great.
Catwoman VA, Selena Kyle herself, do you use CO2 in any tanks? If not, how do you grow carpeting plants? No luck here using Easy Green and root tabs in a short tank, so good lighting. We also have never succeeded at that.
The only thing that I've done okay with is some of that little grass that I stuck in, and I don't even know the proper name of it. That's what sucks. That's in King George's tank. Some of the grass has kept, but I think it was because of the substrate I used, and I can't remember which one it was. The fluval.
Is it the stratum?
I think it
Stratum.
is the stratum, but you know, it's. What I've found with plants and fertilizers is it's some kind of a science. I'm not good at it, and I can't give advice. And the people I would say to go watch would be Corey or Rachel. They know, I know Corey uses fertilizers. Rachel doesn't use fertilizers, but
there's a lot of people better than us talking about plants. That's for sure.
I mean, I've got plants, but I've got the so simple, easy ones that it really doesn't matter. But when you talk about those like really nice tanks, heavily planted, that are just
High-tech
gorgeous, you need to get your advice from somebody else.
It's again, it would be like getting advice from me on how to keep corals. It's like, I know how they do it, but I've never successfully done it, so I ain't going to ever advise anybody how to do it. Same kind of a thing.
My patience for plants is this much. Now, the plants that I have throughout the house, I could keep those alive. They grow like crazy. Not a big deal. Easy Green is amazing in my plants in the house. I mix that up in water and I pour it in, my house plants. Does great. But I've never done like really good as far as getting the fertilizer and the lights to all work together right, because I'm so worried about the fish. It's like I want my fish to live, so I'm going to do everything I have to for the fish. And then I end up forgetting about the plants.
I love looking at the planted tanks that Corey has, and George Farmer does amazing work. MD Fish Tanks is brilliant. Mike from Aqua Pros is amazing at planted tanks. I like looking at their tanks, and that's all it'll be for me. I mean, because I've never done well. There's only a few plants that I've done well that are plants that, as far as I know, anybody can do well, which is like the octopus plants and the Valsinaria, plants that you really have to try to kill.
Yeah, I'm amazing with jungle val.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sword plants, things like that. Anubias, some of the Anubias. Those are
go with the Anubias.
Those are very good hardy plants that, as long as they're in the right situation with the right type of fish and stuff like that, they wouldn't work in that tank. Pretty much anybody can keep those plants. But when you start talking about plants that require high-tech lighting and certain parameters and CO2 and all, you lost me there.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite tank ever is my discus tank, and I don't have one plant in it.
And discus love plants too, but they also love not having plants. So
well,
there you go.
Where they're from, they don't have a bunch of plants.
From Hans's place, you mean? Or from the breeders? Are you talking about in nature?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me the Amazon doesn't have a lot of plants in it?
It's more, go look at the Amazon. Go look at a video. Tell me if you see a bunch of plants in there. It's dark, and there's a lot of branches, roots.
Hey,
and
I
stuff
love your
floating on the water.
I love your plants. I ain't even trying to talk bad about them. Jennifer Bingham became a member. Welcome to the team. Fish Room Fever pooped on us. Ader 108, Ader, I think it's going to be Ader. 1 year since lockdown. 1 year since I started my membership. Happy COVID-versary. I've never heard that before. COVID-versary. That is adorable. Yeah, isn't it amazing? It's already been a year, and back then we were like, what do you think it's going to be? A couple of months or something? How long is this going to last? And here we are a year later. It's craziness. Jonathan Gardner, I love your channel. I wanted to make sure I read the name right. Wish we could be real life friends. Been keeping fish for 15 years. Currently have a 29 with neons and cherry barbs, a 10-gallon with pea puffers, and a 5-gallon beta tank. Beautiful. Yeah, you know, I have no friends, so that would be nice. I'm sorry that we're not friends. Rose Johnson, my new tank is cycled. Should I put plants in before new fish? I don't think it really matters either way. You can put them in now. It's not going to hurt anything. You can put them in after the fish. It's not going to hurt anything. Although the argument could be made that, you know, they're going to make the tank healthier for the fish. So if you have to choose one, put the plants in first, or you can put them in at the exact same time. It doesn't matter either way. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
You just jump in whenever you want.
Aquatic Dan Demand asked, when can we see a video series of husband versus wife, set up tanks from the start, getting it all set up for free, Craigslist for free listings, tank equipment all free? Huh.
I don't know if it's the same guy that has said that in a lot of different places. I am not interested in that. Not because it wouldn't be fun, because it would be fun. I'm not interested in doing all the running around that it would take to go and accumulate all of that stuff and all of that.
Yeah.
I think it's a brilliant idea. I just don't know that either one of us have the time or the patience to do that.
Yeah.
It would be fun. I will give you that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to work. Zach is here. Hey guys, I have a question. So I recently purchased a 6.5 gallon tank, put a female beta in and 5 neon tetras in there. She killed all of them within the first few hours.
Oh.
Did I do something wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong.
She was moody.
With betas, you never know.
Yeah, that's sad.
I mean, it's one of those fish. You absolutely never know if it's going to go well or if it's not going to go well. You can put a beta with a bunch of shrimp. You know, you see people out there that say betas go great with shrimp. And then you're going to see a lot of people that are going to say, never put betas with shrimp because they're going to immediately eat them and all of this kind of stuff.
Well, I remember I was worried about that too. And Chris Lukup told me, it's fine. You can put them with them. And I said, okay. And you know
he
what?
is the shrimp king.
Yeah. And I put them in the sorority and I didn't see them for like a month. And I thought, crap, he was wrong. But he wasn't. They just went and they hid for a while and then they came back out, you know, every once in a while, but you just barely ever saw them. But they were surviving by hiding.
We've got betas in tanks downstairs with multiple tank mates, different types of tank mates, and they're completely fine. I put some fish in the tank with Scott over there, and immediately, like you said, instantaneously, he was chasing them around, chasing he was going to kill them if I didn't take them out. So I immediately scooped them back out and put them away, put them back in their original tank. You just never know. I mean, it all depends. They all have their own little personalities, and it might work out for one person. It might not work out. You might go get 5 more neon tetras, put them in there, and everything's fine. That's the weird thing about it.
I don't know. No, I wouldn't because the beta's already established.
Right.
Dominance.
I mean, I'm not saying I would do that. I wouldn't do it, but you didn't do anything wrong. The glorious thing about a 6.5 gallon tank with a female beta in it is she can be in there by herself and be gorgeous. And it's not a problem. It'll be a beautiful tank.
It just depends. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, It just depends on the fish.
There are a couple of fish I would suggest trying that are a little bit larger than neon tetras that the fish probably would get along with, but not in a 6.5 gallon tank. So leave her in there by herself. It's a tight tank anyway. She'll be fine.
Get her a snail.
There you go. Scott has a snail in there and never touched him. Been perfectly fine.
We named her Liz.
Yeah, Scott and Liz. Absolutely.
I named her Liz because she's a snail and she's cute. So I was like, well, you know, King Scott, Liz. So we had to do it. We
don't want Liz to know that Lisa named a snail after her, though, because, you know, things might get nasty. And Liz is scrappy. You know, she'll come down here.
I said it was cute.
I'm joking. Chris Borkowski. I have a full-grown Oscar in 135. He's alone. I need to fill this tank. Any recommendations? You know, you run into issues when that Oscar is full grown because that's his tank. And I'm not a believer at all in if they grow up together, they're always going to get along. I'm absolutely not a believer in that. I had Oscars grow up with arowanas. Guess what? The arowanas are dead. The Oscars are not. But the reason why that generally works is because of size. You get Severums, like I did back here, that are the size of a quarter, and you get Oscars that are the size of a 50% piece. The Oscars are growing really fast, but guess what? So are the Severums. So there's never this major size difference. And that's the problem that you run into when you have a full-grown Oscar in a 135-gallon tank. What fish are you going to get that are big enough to not get swallowed whole by a full-grown Oscar? Unless you go buy other full-grown fish. Severums seem to work out pretty well. Silver dollars work out pretty well. Other cichlids, I mean, I realize Severums are cichlids, but other larger South and Central American cichlids, it's real risky. You buy a big Jack Dempsey. I mean, 99 times out of 100, I would tell you a Jack Dempsey Oscar combo will be fine. But a full-grown Oscar and a grown Jack Dempsey, I don't know. Because they're adults and they've already figured things out. And they might get in there and immediately not like each other. So it's a challenge because the fish is already grown. If the fish was small, if you said, hey, John, I bought small 50-cent piece size Oscars to put in my giant 135-gallon tank. What should I get to grow up with them? I could give you a list of a lot of different fish. We even did a video of best tank mates for Oscars. But the challenge is that your fish is already full grown.
Fish Universe says, just got a 6-inch arowana for my birthday. Happy birthday. I know you love them. I had the same feeling about them that you did when I first saw them. He's loving his new 250-gallon home. That's great.
That is amazing. I will have them again. I am never going to give up. I don't know that they'll be in that tank. But we've got some ideas. I'm just saying. We've been doing some talking.
We have?
We have.
Wait, about what?
And maybe I didn't tell you about this idea.
I thought the only thing we were talking about was my discus tank.
Well, yeah, that's true. But, we can't do anything while we're here. I mean, it's just, there's no room in here. We're taking tanks out of the basement to free up space for our business down there. So we can't put any more down there. Maybe if there's a day where we move into a larger space and we can add tanks, we might go a little crazy.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying. Might go a little crazy. Regina Phalange, there she is, became a member. Karen Hyatt, I'm probably saying that wrong, from New Zealand, put a New Zealand poop on us, which is glorious. David Smith became a new member. Matthew Lader, I think I'm saying your name right. What live plants do you recommend for cold water? Didn't we just get done telling you not to ask us for plant advice?
Oh, yeah. Fake plants.
Fake plants would be great. Vallisneria does well in cold water. Doesn't it?
I've never kept it in cold water.
Yeah, listen, Matthew. Don't be listening to us when it comes to plants. I'm telling you. I'm sorry you wasted your money there, my friend. But yeah, us and plant advice, not really things that go together at all.
Sorry.
All right, be looking for another one. Matthew, you got one?
Will G asks, can I put a Cory catfish with my beta? Well, I wouldn't say one Cory cat with one beta. I would say get a school of Cory cats with a beta. But make sure you have the right size tank because you don't want to just put 6 Cory cats and a beta in a 5-gallon tank. So,
absolutely. And Matthew Laidler, which is the one that we just were unable to answer his question about cold water plants, is probably second guessing himself for becoming a member to the channel. I'm sorry, Matthew. Hopefully we can give you plenty of information on things that don't have anything to do with plants. El Chango, what's the best flight? I'm pretty sure that's a spell check from Filter. For a 40-gallon breeder with baby dwarf tier carpet. Why are we getting all these? Is Corey trolling us tonight or something? Candy, what's he doing? Why are we getting all these plant questions tonight? What's the best, I'm going to say filter, for a 40-gallon breeder with baby dwarf, tier, carpet, and if there is a spray bar for an FX6? First of all, an FX6 in a 40-gallon is way too much filter, especially if you're growing delicate plants like dwarf, tier, carpets, and all of that. FX6 will just blow that stuff right out of there. I do not think, in fact, I can confidently say, Fluval does not make a spray bar specifically for the FX6. And it's probably because, excuse me, of the power of that filter. I just don't know that they would want to restrict it to all of those little holes. It'd be like shooting water halfway across the room. So I pretty much, as far as I know, anybody that has spray bars on an FX6 made them themselves, DIY, PVC pipe, put a cap on the end, drill a bunch of holes in it. It's not that hard to do. You just need to get fittings that'll fit to the end of the hose from the FX6. It's not that big of a deal. But I don't know that I would do it. Spray bars are cool, but they're also not, as far as, that's my opinion. But yeah, there you go. Matt or Apollo, how did you two make it through the rough times? I lost my main breeding pair of electric blue Acaras and 300 1-inch fry due to a 3.5-week-old 125-gallon tank deciding to fail. Ooh.
Ooh, that kind of reminds me of your 240 when we came down and all the fish were dead. We knew how bad that was because we could smell it 3 stories up. We were in, on the top floor in the bedroom.
No, it was the second floor. We could smell it, like right when we were getting to the stairs.
No, we were in the bed. I remember I smelt something off, and the tank was in the basement, and that was just, ugh. I was like, I think a fish died. A lot of fish died.
I mean, we had tons of tanks down there at the time, so it could have been anything. But yeah, that was a filter failure, and all of the fish died. The biggest catastrophe we've ever had, for sure. And you know what? How do you move on? How do you get through it? I know how insensitive this sounds, but for me, I get through it by starting over. I mean, and I've been that way with all animals. I've never not had a dog in my adult life. I've never had a dog. Since I was 11 years old, I've never been without a dog. And I'm the guy that when a dog passes, it is so traumatic for me. And the way I get through it is by going out and getting another dog. Now, I'm not talking about the next day, but when we lost Daisy, what was it, like 2 months, we got the Chihuahuas. And before that, we didn't get a new dog with Ethel because we had just gotten Roxy, but that's how it's always been for me. And with fish, it's the same way. I get through that by either starting over, trying something new, or getting some new fish that go in there and being excited about those. I know it sounds insensitive, but that's just the way I operate. We've only got about 7 minutes left, so let me get these real quick. Blue Mercies do 2 dwarf gouramis with 4 mollies. Do they go with? Sure, absolutely. I don't know what size, if you're putting them in a 2.5-gallon tank, no. But if you got yourself a 20-gallon, absolutely, go for it. They'll be perfectly fine. Caleb from Hyrule became a member. Lots of new members tonight. Welcome, y'all. This is fun. Big idea for members. Not going to announce it because then what happens is we make announcements and we end up changing our minds, or we do things differently and we end up getting ourselves in trouble. So I'm not going to make any announcements, but we had a big idea for members, something that you'll see in the coming weeks.
We did talk about that.
We did. And we both liked the idea.
We had a conversation. We were in it together. Remember that?
We were walking on Dahlgren Road when I told you that idea. And I said, listen, this is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was like, yeah, it was.
Yep. It's a brilliant idea.
Okay.
we're going to try it. It's going to be hard, but we're going to try
Glad
it.
I
So,
made
anyway.
it for that conversation.
El Chango Best Light. Best Light.
That's like the cheapest one you can find.
No, I'm going to be honest. I have some cheap lights on that 240. Not all that happy with them, mainly because I don't know how to use them. They have a mind of their own. I come out and they're all purple. I'll come out and they're all off. It just drives me crazy. I just have to get in there and figure out how to set them. They also get extremely hot. So I'm not going to tell you to go cheap. I can tell you this, the lights that we have the least amount of trouble with and that we love,
The ones on my discus tank.
those and the Fluval 3.0s. We have a Fluval 3.0 saltwater version on the goldfish tank, and it is amazing. It's 2 years old, still beautiful. And you know, you got the app and all that kind of stuff that you can use, but I just walk up and push the button. I don't care about thunderstorms and all that kind of stuff, but you can do that with it.
I just like light.
Yeah, the only issue with the Fluval 3.0s is they are pricey. They're very pricey. And the current orbit system, also amazing. We love those.
They're my favorite.
But again, a little pricey. So there you go. I mean, we're fortunate that we have relationships with these companies. Actually, that was a gift from Aquarium Co-op, the light on that tank.
And you know what? That's great.
It's been
That's
amazing
a
ever since we got it.
great light. What is that?
That's the Fluval 3.0.
Oh, it's so clear.
This
Looks
is
good.
on the saltwater tank that Marie's talking about. That's what I'm talking about there. That's the
That's a
Fluval
goldfish
3.0.
tank, not a saltwater tank.
What did I say?
You said on the saltwater tank.
Well, no, it's a saltwater light is what I meant.
Oh.
It's the saltwater version of the Fluval 3.0.
Oh.
Or the reef version of the 3.0. They have a plant one and then the reef one. That's the reef one. Because I wanted the colors to pop because that was originally a peacock and hap tank. But these I'm also real happy with. These are the Coral Lifes. Again, a reef tank. I like blue a lot. I like there to be a lot of blue. Just because it shows so well on camera is why I like it as much as I do. And those are really good. I've got 4 48-inch Coral Life lights on there. Again, they're not as expensive as the others, but they're also not cheap. With lights, you get what you pay for.
And you're not trying to grow plants or anything like that.
Heck no.
So. Triton Riverstone asked, "Hey Lisa, when are the new betas you just received going up for sale?" Well, tomorrow will be a week for those. But I have others that I'm pulling out of quarantine and putting up on the website over the weekend. So I kind of rotate and bring the others out. I usually have 3 different shipments going at one time, but I like to keep them, the new ones, for a little while before I put them up on the site. But I will have some new ones for everybody else that, like if you're going on the site and you haven't seen these fish before, they're my new ones prior to the new ones. So they'll be new to you anyway.
Yeah, there's a constant rotation of new fish being added to that all the time.
Yeah.
We've got 3 minutes left. We got to get through these real quick. Ka Yang, I hope I'm saying your name right, just got into Tropheus. Any tips you can give me? What are your favorite variants? Give them plenty of places to retreat and hide, and plenty of water changes because you probably got a lot of them in there. Very, very cool. I'm old school. I love the Du Bois Eye. I know they don't stay polka dotted, but I love that fish. They are adorable when they're small and good looking when they're grown.
Yeah, no polka dots. They just have stripes.
Right. That's the thing, folks. If you're thinking about getting Du Bois Eye, they are beautiful and they're so adorable when they're small and polka dotted, but they do not stay that way. Safety Steve with the $5 remote control that looks very injured and sad. And that makes me sad, but it's adorable and I've never seen it before. It's very, very cute. Anthony Hernandez, just want to thank you for your recommendation last week. Ended up going with a Marine Land 360 canister, mainly due to the Fluval being out of stock. Stuff being out of stock these days is a challenge. In fact, I can't believe I didn't announce this in the beginning of the stream tonight. I got 240 heat packs the other day. So we're back on track as far as shipping fish goes. And of course the weather's breaking too, which is beautiful.
And I have 2 rescue betas that I need to get out. I will be in touch with, if you 2 are still here, Melissa Jeswald and Pam. I want to get them out to you next week, as long as weather is good on your end. So let me know. If you're not here, I'll message you. We'll figure it out.
Jeff H., I knew this was going to come up in the stream tonight. Any thoughts on the moss ball recall? Have a pleco that loves knocking his all over the place. Got my latest order today. Thanks again. It sucks. The moss ball recall thing. It sucks. It sucks for my friend that owns a business that has to take a bunch of them back or give refunds for them or whatever. It sucks for
the people
the
that
people
have
that have to
go
quarantine
through,
their.
go through all that, and
It sucks.
just it's something you don't want to get out there. It's a big problem, and I think everyone's trying to do the right thing, and that's the good thing. And I'm glad that it's out there for people to know,
Yeah.
so that they can take care of it, because that's just devastating on so many ends. It's like, it's so tough.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, just type zebra mussels in Google. You'll see it. I mean, it's all over the place. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about it.
But you should definitely look into it.
Yeah, it's a serious thing.
If you don't know, then definitely look it up and look into it, because you need to know.
Yep, absolutely. New Digital Blue 123. How come I don't see many videos out there talking about the electric side? Spreading load breakers if you have multiple tanks, etc. That is a very, very good question. You do not see that, and I'm going to tell you why. Nobody would watch that video. That's why. Is it important, and should there be more videos on that topic? 100% there should be. But this is going to sound bad, and it's not meant to sound bad, but the fish keeping community is so picky about what they want to see and what they don't want to see, that if you do a video about electricity, how to run wiring and stuff like that, which is extremely important, especially for people with fish rooms, nobody would watch it. And when nobody watches it, what happens? YouTube punishes you, take you out of the algorithm like they've done to us the last few weeks. And it just happens. And that's why you won't see many big YouTubers doing videos about that. And even the smaller channels, it's hard. It's one of those hard topics, but it's definitely something that there should be more time spent on. And I wanted to do a big video about it when we set this up for the first time, didn't do it. I would love to say that if we ever move out of here into a different place, I'd love to do a video about the electrical there. Probably won't do it, but it should be done. So I agree. 2 more, and then it's already 9:32. Kimberly Moran pooped on us. Thank you, Kimberly. We needed that last minute poop. Christina Knight with the $1 super chat. Nothing attached to it at all. David Smith, upgrading my Oscar to a 125. Thinking about doing a cichlid tank in my 75. My Oscar is currently in. Any recommendations? Imbunas, because I'm kind of on a high on Imbunas right now. But if you're not into Imbunas, peacocks. There are some haps that will stay small enough to put them in a 75, but most haps get too big for a 75. So peacocks, but Imbunas. Imbunas are so much fun. I'm so glad to have an Imbuna tank again. Look at that behind Marie. I know it doesn't show well on this camera, but it's a glorious thing. Bonnie Eden with the $5. Hey guys, got my beta today. Red Koi Galaxy number 11. He is beautiful.
He is.
UPS did a great job. Gave me delivery progress all the way. Thank you.
I'm so glad he made it.
Yes,
I love
absolutely.
hearing happy endings about, the fish getting there, and I just love that.
We had a bunch of those today. Got a bunch of those emails today, thankfully.
And it's so adorable because people email us and they tell us the names. The beta has a name, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
And it's not the name that I gave him.
Some people keep the names.
All right, last one, and then we're going to have you shut this down because it's already 9:33. Josh Scher got another 220 and a 125.
Whoa, lucky.
Built new stands thanks to your videos. Both are resealed and ready to rock. Hope all is well. What a glorious thing to get 2 big tanks at one time. That's amazing. Good for you, and I'm so glad that my video was able to help you with that. I need to do another one of those because people love to watch it. So there we go. We're all set for the night. It is your turn to shut us down.
We went 4 minutes over.
Yeah, we got to get better
Jeez.
at that.
But anyways, thank you for joining us. It was a lot of fun, and we'll probably be vlogging. Is that what you call it? Vlogging over the weekend, you know, what we're doing and stuff like that, because we're boring people. We do a lot of fishy stuff, but we're still pretty boring. We're probably not that different from everybody watching, because if you're watching, you're probably boring too. No offense. But anyways, thank you for watching. We'll see you next Thursday. And again, thank you, mods. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And everyone have a wonderful weekend, and see you next week.